Hey guys, it's Jade, back with another video, and today we are continuing our cryptid series with Arkansas and the Fouke monster. Don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's been the theme of this series so far. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the Fouke monster, which is also referred to as the Boggy Creek monster, has originated in a small town in the southwest of Arkansas, and the town is called Fouke, hence the name. And stories of this monster date all the way back to the 1850s. However, this monster really made the headlines in Arkansas in 1970. In May of 1971, Bobby Ford, who was a resident of Fouke, reported that he had been attacked by a big hairy creature that breathed heavily, had hairy eyes, and was very fast. In fact, Ford was not the only witness. His wife, Elizabeth, and his brother all claimed to have also seen the monster. However, they had apparently been hearing noises and seeing strange things for a few days. But this particular day, Elizabeth was sleeping on the couch and she was awakened by the noise and sight of the creature's hairy arm coming through the window. At first, she thought it was a bear, but when she jumped up screaming and got a better look, she realized that it was something else entirely. Her husband, who was outside at the time, heard her scream and came running. However, he was attacked by the fleeing monster and managed to escape somehow. Him and his brother chased the creature into the woods, and with their guns were eventually able to get a shot on it. However, they never found any blood that would indicate that their aim had been true. In fact, all they found were some creepy three-toed tracks and deep claw scratches on the front porch. Ford was treated for minor injuries, and the encounter made the newspaper, which created a whole big frenzy. Then, eventually, within a few days, people all around the state knew about this encounter. Locals had also started to admit that they had seen evidence of the creature and were now coming forward, and there was just this whole rush of new sightings. So, what does the monster look like? People who have seen it have described it as a towering 7-foot-tall behemoth that walks upright and is covered in shaggy reddish-brown fur and bears an uncanny resemblance to Bigfoot, which is similar to the monster we covered last week, which was the Mogollon monster from Arizona. They described its eyes as red and piercing and described this monster with an overpowering stench, which is also seeming to be similar with these big, Bigfoot-like creatures that stand on 2 feet. The Ford family said that the footprints they found had 3 toes, but more recently, the footprints that have been found indicate that the monster has a bunion off to the side of one of the toes. So the Fouke monster in pop culture sparked the interest, originally, of an independent filmmaker from Arkansas named Charles B. Pierce. He created a documentary-style horror film called The Legend of Boggy Creek with a K. This propelled the creature to national attention, not just Arkansas. This movie was considered a docudrama, and it's like a reimagined encounter of the Ford family's report. In the film, Mr. Pierce mixes interviews, first-person accounts, and reenactments of the Ford family's experience with this creature. Many locals who took part in the film still live in the area today, since it was released in 1972. So, a lot of locals describe this film as like a rite of passage, and it almost became like a cult classic, and just became part of Arizona culture. More importantly, for those interested in filmmaking, it also has the bragging rights to being the very first horror film shot in a docudrama style. This is a very common technique for today, but it was like considered cutting edge at the time that it was filmed. So after the movie, the monster became very popular for a time, and there was a bit of what was considered a folk frenzy. So like people would literally go to this town, and like there's not, like it's a very small town in Arkansas, and like they discovered that there was nothing there. So to gain more tourist attraction and give the tourists something to actually do, they came up with the Monster Mart. The Monster Mart started as a convenience store, but is now known as literally the Folk Monster Museum. So the Monster Mart has old news clippings about the folk monster, and it also includes any other memorabilia, such as casts of recent footprints. New items come into the museum all the time as new discoveries are made. So, what about the monster today? Although the original frenzy from 1970 has since died down, reports continue to persist, even though evidence remains elusive. People in the town of Fouke are quite careful talking about their experiences and sightings because they don't want to be ridiculed and stir up more interest, which would create more craziness in Arkansas. This is a very remote and private area of Arkansas, and the residents don't want strangers coming back and creating this whole fuss again. However, on the other hand, it brings in tourism, and it brings in money for the people that live in this small town. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a controversial topic in Arkansas. However, this small town does throw a folk monster festival every year, and the town hosts it in the spring to celebrate the legend and to raise scholarship money for the folk high school students. The festival has presentations from folk monster and Bigfoot experts, lots of stories who have cited the monster, and they're guided to tour, or there's guided tours that are taking people to various monster locations, vendors, and other important locations. To this day, the monster remains a cryptid that is deeply embedded in the folklore of Arkansas. Despite the numerous stories and sightings, there's no scientific proof that the existence of this monster is real. Skeptics will say that the encounters may be hoaxes or causing of mistaken identities. The believers of the folk monster continue to be a source of mystery, wonder, and debate. Regardless of where one stands, there is no denying that this is a legend in Arkansas. Alright, so that is going to be the end of today's video. This monster is quite similar to the one we covered last week, but next week, when we cover California, we're going to get into something completely different that doesn't have anything to do with Bigfoot or bears. California's most famous cryptid is called the Dark Watchers. So, I don't know anything about this cryptid, but it seems to be more paranormally supernatural, I guess, rather than like creature kind of, like these past two monsters have been very similar looking to Bigfoot or grizzly bears. So this will be a new topic for us to cover. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're looking forward to California's cryptid, and I will see you in the next one.